Inside Africa, in association with Zenith Bank. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
The westernmost tip of Africa, the city of Dakar.
Good acts have a beginning but no end.
Demba Mbub is a griot, a guardian of history, a storyteller dedicated to preserving the memory of West African society.
Life is about learning. If you follow in the footsteps of your father, you must respect what he did. You must maintain your ancestors' traditions and improve on them.
In this edition of Inside Africa, we unlock Senegal's past and meet the people who are upholding, restoring and modernising some of the country's long-established practices.
History is very important and has great meaning.
In a dusty village not far from Dakar, Moussa Fame begins his habitual walk to work, following in the footsteps of his father. At 24, this has been his routine for the past 7 years. It is here, amongst the piles of salt and worn-out wooden boats, that Moussa's work begins, as a salt harvester. This is Lake Retba, or Lac Rose, the pink lake.
maa ngi jógee Mali man kay ñëw naa fi ay weer xor gi 2007.
The salt content here rivals that of the Dead Sea, exceeding 40% salinity in some parts. This is a job laden with health risks. From his plastic bag, Moussa extracts a small tub of shea butter.
diw bi boo diw parce que boo diwlee rek xorom bu la xorom yi nekk ci fii ne rek bu la laal sa yaram day deg bu ko deg xorom ndox bi moo lekk sa yaram mu def ko ay góom toujours boo dugg ci boobu fekk koloo ko defoo xarité toujours góom bi day yokk mu indi la ay problème ci sa yaram loolu moo tax ñu diw ay xarité mu sunu yaram mu bañ a deg. fekk moom mu ngi liggéey fii xam nga moom bu mu ñëw fii mu bàyyi ma foofu man bu ma ko gis liggéey laa bëgg di liggéey après bu mu woo kër gi ma ne ko dama bëgg ñëw ci yow ma liggéey foofu. bu ma ñëw fii sama premier jour bi sama papa moo ma yóbbu ay côté fële di ma jàng foofu benn jour dama ko jàng liggéey bi ñaari jour sama troisième jour ma yóbbu sama gaal ci biir ndox. parce que boo ñëwee fii boo seer gaal yi da ngay jël sa pelle uti ay xorom.
Senegal is the largest salt producer in West Africa, mining more than 45,000 tons every year. For generations, men from all over the region have come to Lake Retba to harvest this way.
lii nag gars yi nag am na ay Malien am na Guinéen am na Ivoirien am na Burkinabé même ay Guinée-Bissau am na ay Sénégalien ay pays yooyu yëpp ak mbokk gars yi ñu ngi fi ci liggéey fi.
Moussa works alone in the lake for 7 hours with nothing but the most basic of tools.
da nga am ay 10 pan wala 12 pan wala mu ëpp lool jour bu nga xamante ne am la. ma xorom bu ma soxla bu ma amee boobu di àggee foofu.
Back on shore, his 21-year-old wife, Mariam, awaits his return. She carries the salt from boat to land. Musa makes 60 cents for each bucket of salt he collects. His wife earns 5 cents for every bucket she carries. Demba Jeng is a wholesaler buying salt and then reselling it.
Mais sama ñoom papa ñoom fii dañ fi daan nappi si ay jën mais man damaa jur fekk fa xorom loolu lu yàgg la parce que fii ñaari qualité xorom ñoo fi génne fi benn ko sax moo fi génne am na benn xorom bu fi génne bu tuddee sel moyen mooy xorom bi ngay gis nii moom mooy sel moyen xorom boobu ñi liggéey si géej yi ak der yi ñoom ñoo koy jënd bu dee xorom bu dijj bi nag ñun Sénégal moom la ñuy lekk mais boo ko yóbbu Europe moom la gars yi sotti si nees yeeg yooyu waa.
Salt is an important natural resource for Senegal's economy. In this area, the livelihoods of many depend on it. While most of Musa's salt will be sold on, for now at least, there's enough for his wife to use to season his dinner.
The importance of tradition is something you don't notice in a short period of time. One has to remain doing it for a long time. The basic values are work and honor.
A griot, a West African storyteller, reflects on the importance of preserving tradition. Here in Senegal, a disappearing industry is being recovered.
It's a beautiful know-how that is disappearing slowly. In West Africa, I think that's the richest part of Africa for textile. Senegal textile weaving is quite unique because it's very complex, technically wise, but it's inherited from the Portuguese. It comes from Guinea-Bissau, the south of Senegal. Daniel, nagadef.
For more than 2 decades, Issa Dion has been managing one of the few enterprises in Senegal that weaves textiles according to ancestral practices.
I'm coming from France and Senegal. My mother is French, my father is from Senegal. And I arrived here 35 years ago and got into the weaving 25 years ago.
Traditionally, textiles in Senegal were made for ceremonial clothes at births, weddings and burials.
We have a rich tradition of cotton agriculture. So we have about 1 million tons of cotton that is produced in West Africa. The cotton is being produced in Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, Benin, all over West Africa.
But today, most of that cotton is exported.
So in West Africa, we don't produce textile, very little now. We don't have any sheets, any curtains. Nothing is being produced with this cotton. It's a big tragedy because all the spinning industries have closed.
Using cotton imported from Egypt, Issa committed herself to re-establishing the industry.
You see, the idea is to restart, give employment and revenue to people who know things that are going to disappear. And through the design and the art, you take it back to the international market.
Today, in an atelier just east of Dakar, Isa recreates local fabrics and patterns for interior decoration using 3 different looms.
The traditional loom was only 15 to 20 centimeters wide, so it was impossible to use it as a mean for decoration. So the first action was to develop the width of the loom. Many traditional weavers don't want to change, and I had the opportunity to meet a weaver that accepted to change the tradition, so we widened it up to 50 centimeters, then 70, then 90, progressively.
Her growing portfolio already includes clients like Hermé, Peter Marino and Jacques Grange.
We make hotel rooms. We would weave the curtain here. We would weave the pillows on the first one, on the traditional one. We would weave the furnishing on the second one, and we make a total look. And we use the same thread, so it's full harmony.
But not everything has changed. Local craftsmen still use traditional spinning and weaving techniques.
My workers knew already it's an heritage, the weaving. Traditional weaving is being transmitted from father to son. And it's only men working, no woman. Spiritually speaking, if you don't follow the tradition, you have to be contemporary and tradition, you have to mix the two if you want to succeed. A woman in the tradition, they used to trade, and I'm the woman and I'm trading. That's why it works.
Many are manjack weavers, an ethnic group from Guinea-Bissau known for their complex approach to textiles. Joaquin Diata was the second weaver to ever work with Isa in 1990 and one of the first to accept the widened looms.
liggéey bi dafa am loo xamante ne secret moo fi nekk man dinaa leen ko wax rabu bi nii du dara mais lan mooy problème bi def dessin mooy xam-xam liggéey bi dessin mooy lépp dem nañu ba xamante ne bon tey am na lu bees yu lu ñëw peut-être seen expérience àggul foofu c'est comme tey mais tey expérience àgg na foofu man yàlla def na ma bokk ci expérience ñoo xamante ne moom ñi gën a tuuti la tey.
It requires precision and coordination between hands and feet.
bu xale bi bu dee def na ko intéressé dina ko mun te ñun moom la ñuy pare pour jàngale ñii pour suba tamit ñun suñu demee ba assez ñoom ñi doon nañu.
As Isa looks to the future, it is her hope that one day she can build the label Made in Senegal.
We're working on developing all the steps from the beginning of the culture of cotton, spinning, carding, weaving, and tailoring.
Here in Senegal, Isa is breathing new life into an old tradition.
I think it's obligatory. We have to restart the whole industry, textile tradition.
The Dakar Biennale, a month-long celebration of Africa's contemporary art scene. This is the 11th showcase in Senegal's capital.
What's important about it is that when people at MoMA in New York want to know about contemporary African art, they come to Dakar. When the Tate Modern want to know about contemporary African art, they come to Dakar.
Manchia Diawara is a professor at New York University and an art enthusiast. He was born in Mali and has come for the festival.
This has become a center, just as you have London, Berlin, New York, Paris. Dakar has become the center of African art. If you really want to understand Africa, the contemporary Africa, and what it means to be contemporary in the last 5-10 years, this Biennale is really great because it's telling us where we come from and where we are going.
Exhibiting here for many years is Seren Unjai, a Senegalese glass painter.
Je fais la peinture sous verre depuis 35 ans au moins. Je travaille avec 3 couleurs, les primaires, bleu, jaune, rouge, noir et blanc. La peinture sous verre, ma technique principale ici, c'est la peinture sous verre. Ça consiste à travailler à l'envers. Avant de commencer, j'ai commencé par signer. Je l'ai gratté. Parce que si je ne le fais pas avant, je ne le verrai plus.
Layer upon layer of paint rendered on the back of a sheet of glass.
Je fais, je reviens, je reviens. Je gratte avec n'importe quoi et je reviens jusqu'à ce que j'ai ce que je veux. Je ne veux pas faire comme tout le monde. C'est moi qui ai amené la peinture sous verre moderne sénégalaise en galerie.
You can use the glass paintings to comment on the quotidian, the everyday life, where you see stories being told on this glass painting. And he's probably the best artist in doing that.
This technique of reverse glass painting was brought from the Middle East to Senegal in the late 19th century.
Déjà, ceux qui allaient à la Mecque, ils sont revenus avec des peintures sous verre de cette époque. Sur l'arche de Noé, Adam et Ève, le sacrifice d'Abraham et toutes les histoires de la Genèse. Et ça a permis, la peinture sous verre, d'informer et d'éduquer les Sénégalais dans la connaissance de leur religion. Et c'était bien pour un peuple majoritairement analphabète, en arabe et en français, et de leur raconter leur propre histoire, l'histoire de leur religion.
But the religious rhetoric angered the French colonialists.
Ils l'avaient interdit, totalement, à un moment donné. Mais ça n'a pas empêché que ça continue. On les trouvait partout dans les murs des Sénégalais. C'était rempli les chambres. Mais après 1960, les Sénégalais, c'était plus de mode.
For the past 50 years, only tourists have kept glass painting alive, buying souvenirs to take home.
Mais ça se vend beaucoup ici, ça se vend beaucoup à l'étranger. Il y a beaucoup d'artistes sénégalais qui sont des artisans. Parce qu'ils peuvent faire la pièce 100 fois, 1000 fois si ça a du succès. Moi, quand je fais une pièce, elle est unique, cette pièce.
Seren does abstract glass paintings, modifying the historical art form. For the Biennale, he has taken inspiration from a large West African ethnic group called the Fulani.
C'est le plus élégant d'Afrique. C'est pourquoi je les peins. Et souvent, les gens les prennent pour des femmes. Mais en général, ce n'est pas des femmes, c'est des hommes.
Draw your strength from the tradition. Draw your strength from the past, because it's a very smart past.
Il y a même des Sénégalais qui ont 40 ans, qui n'ont jamais vu un espace pareil et qui vont découvrir. Il y en a qui ont 40 ans, 50 ans, qui vont venir et se rappeler l'intérieur de la chambre de leur grand-mère et de là où ils étaient éduqués. Nous voulons apporter un petit truc, une petite chose à l'art, à la culture. Et c'est pourquoi ce truc dans la biennale. Il n'y a rien de pire. Un peuple qui ignore son passé. Le respect de la tradition, ce n'est pas faire tel que la tradition. Nous avons une histoire, que nous avons une tradition, que nous avons une culture et qu'on ne peut pas tout abandonner et tout prendre de l'extérieur.
In 1972, Senegal hosted the first Picasso exhibition in Africa. This is a country that has invested in the arts, celebrating its rich history through the preservation of traditional customs.
Here in Senegal, the elders who are doing good deeds can motivate an ambitious future generation to carry on their legacies so that Senegal can move forward.
Inside Africa.